Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, and the host for the Webtalk Legends Podcast. It is 2023. This is the first podcast for the year. Again, it's every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is number 47 in the history of these podcasts, and it's all about sharing their story. Each guest comes on, talks about what has happened to their life, in their life, trials, tribulations, talks about their business, and we try to have some fun and for you that are watching, gain value, but also for you to implement. So, some housekeeping if you're watching live, hashtag live, the minimum, just drop a comment, hashtag live. If you can drop a comment where you're watching from, that'd be fantastic. If we talk about certain topics, drop a comment, what you agree, disagree, etc. Use this for networking if you have a business and reach out to the guest after the show. And don't forget to hit that share button. Let me bring on my guest, a good friend of mine. What's going on, Chris? How are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. We have lots of people tuning in all over the world. Web Talk Legends, all about global. We have people in Australia. We have people all over the world that are going to be tuning in tonight. And we have China. We have Australia. So we're going to see a lot of great things tonight.
I'm
You're
going to become famous.
you're going to become famous. We're going to have a great time. And Chris, man, this is fantastic. We've known each other for a long time. We haven't done video, this type of video. This is probably the first time, right?
Not first time.
First time. And it's not the first time for you because you've done some video in the past, which we're going to talk about.
Right.
Before we even get into it, when you go to an event, how do you introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do?
Well, I introduce myself as first my name, my profession, and then I try to get to find out what the other people do. And then, we discuss a little business, how I can help them. And, I collect their information and connect with them on all social media.
It's a good process, man. It's not sitting there just pitching your product and service
No.
when you meet somebody the first time, right?
If they, I can get in depth with them if they really want to know. I usually tell them to do residential mortgages. I do commercial mortgages. I usually say I can do everything, and I have access to do any type of loan out there. And then if they're interested, I can get in depth with them, and then I like to find out what they do. And
It's always good to find out and build relationships, right? We'll
sure,
always have conversations so that we can learn from others.
yeah, because, it's not always about yourself. People get tired of if it's a conversation. I'm just doing all the talking and they're just listening. It's so boring. It needs to go both ways.
No doubt about it. It's something that it has to be going both ways. It has to be not just sitting there selling yourself
No,
constantly, and you got to get to know others. Maybe they have a pain point that you can help with a
sure.
solution to their problem.
Yeah, if I'm doing all the talking, I don't know what their pain is.
You got to find that out. Now, you said you're in the mortgage business. What got you in the mortgage business in the first place?
I was my daughter was a couple years old, and I really wanted leisure time to see her grow up. I was in retail, department stores, and as we just went through a holiday, we all
Yeah.
know from Thanksgiving to Christmas, you're working 70 hours a week. So she was very young, and I wanted to spend time. I wanted to leisure time with her, really. And you have to hustle to have that leisure time. But you make your own hours in this business. As you know, insurance, realtors, you all make your own time. And
Being an entrepreneur, right? You
yeah,
have to make sure you are setting yourself up for success.
of
You're not
course.
sitting there playing video games all day long, right?
No. And I was allowed to be home at night then with her. I got to go on field trips with her, and we had a good time.
That I like hearing about being, an active dad, not a passive dad, not a
Right.
dad that just shows up every once in a while. You actually put time in. What made you
Yeah.
start doing that?
I don't know. I just wanted to be. See, my father worked had his own business, and I worked with my father. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't see much of my father if I wasn't working with him. And I started off at a young age, probably 5 years old, working with him. And I was allowed to because he had his own business. If I was still working in retail, my daughter couldn't be with me. She couldn't be in the store with me. So I was trying to figure out what type of job can I have that I can spend time with her. If she has field trips or if she's sick, or I could be home at night with her.
You had the experience when you were growing up. That's what made you into the dad you are today.
Thank you.
That's a powerful thing. You actually sat there and you reflected. You saw, hey, dad was doing what he was doing. But that's a lot of dads don't realize what they're supposed to be doing. That's the way I am too. I love being around my kids. I work.
Yeah, you have to work. You have to make money, but there is time. There's the social aspect too.
You got to be, and you're actually there. You're not just, a lot of dads will be on their phone all the time. And it's like, dude, put it down a little bit.
Of course.
Spend this, be in the moment with your kid. So you get them, because the time goes so fast.
It does.
Were you one that would change diapers and stuff and be up in the middle of the night?
I didn't know how to change a diaper. The nurse had to teach me how to change a diaper, how to feed her. Yeah, I used to get up at night. I used to be home after 6. One instance, my ex-wife and I went out at the time. First time we were able to really go out, where she was able to drink, and I said, "You can drink all you want. I'll be sober. I'll take care of her." Well, you say it. So around 2:30 in the morning, our daughter woke up and she looked at me. She goes, "You promised." I go, "I did. I promised." So I had to get up with her.
Yeah, I'm doing that now, man. I have my 2-month-old. I enjoy that time because it could be 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, I have to be up for work in the morning, but it's a time that you get to spend. That's only a little window that people don't realize. No. That window is so quick.
So quick. Then they start school.
Yep.
Then they go off to college, and then they get their boyfriend, and they, now I'm lucky if I see her once or twice a month. Supposed to come over Saturday night. We'll see what happens.
You go through different phases of, as they're growing up. They want to be around us. They don't want to be around us. So it definitely happens.
I mean, but she's working. She works a full-time job. She does babysitting. She's taking her master's online. So she has a lot going on, and then plus the boyfriend. So I understand.
So, are you into sports?
I watch a lot of sports, and I used to play softball. I played softball into my early 40s. I haven't played in a while now. I'm 58, so I haven't played probably in 12 years or so, maybe 10 years.
What was your favorite sport besides softball?
To play? I used to play street football, but in my 40s is always softball.
And
how did you know softball? How did you know? Did I mention it to you in the past?
I think you did mention that. And that's why I was just curious if it was any other that you were really into.
No, I can't skate, so I can't play hockey.
And that's a tough sport to do. Hockey is something that takes a lot of skill. If you don't know how to skate forwards, meanwhile, you have to be able to go backwards as well.
Play hockey. Yeah. I'm 58, so I watch the NHL from the 70s. And you could always tell a poor skater compared to a good skater. Now, they all can skate good compared to us. But you can tell the ones that really knew how to skate and the ones that were okay at skating when you used to watch a hockey game.
Yeah. No, it's definitely taken some time to have and learn a skill. The skills that are important. In your field, what are some skills that you are always trying to perfect, make better, practice?
Communication, talking to people, making sure you get your point across in a nice way, all friendly things like that. But yeah, my communication skill is probably the best.
I agree. I definitely agree. And it's something that what we were talking about before we go live, I asked you to, be a guest, and you took me up on it. And you were saying some things of why you took me up on it. What happened? And what were some things that were happening recently?
Well, 2022 was not a great year for a lot of people. Interest rates went up. The homes, less homes on the market. So it really was a poor year. And I'm saying now, 2023 is starting off really good so far. And hopefully interest rates will start falling by the early summer, maybe late summer, get back into the fives. And about talking about interest rates, I just gave out an interest rate at 5.75. So don't people shouldn't be scared. The interest rates are 7%. They're not
Right.
7%.
Right.
So they are, and you can get rates in the low sixes to high fives. So, but I need to develop more contacts. I need to get out there. Um, I pretty much get out of my comfort zone because when you go to events, you're out of your comfort zone. You're talking to people, so it's just getting more contacts, more exposure, and hopefully more business.
I like what you just said there as far as getting out of your comfort zone. It's important that I always tell people you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable and
Sure.
doing things that are different and not the norm.
Yes.
And when you go to these events, what have you been doing recently? I mean, in the past, I guess there are events now have been starting to pop up here and there. In the
Correct.
past, how important what were some things that you would do when you were at those events?
Well, I made sure I circled the whole room. A lot of people go to these events and they see their friends, and there they are for 3 hours, having a couple of beers and eating and talking to their friends. And maybe your friends are giving you a lot of work. I don't know. But that I never found that successful. You talk to your friends, people you've seen. Well, when you go to these events, and if you've been going for years, you pretty much see 50% of people you've seen already.
Right.
So you say hi to them, you're friendly, but you try to hit the other 50% that they don't know. And then as myself being a loan officer, like I said, especially realtors, you try to find realtors, you talk to them, you make yourself available. You say, I try to have a one-on-one meeting with them eventually. Maybe try to get into their office and see the other realtors.
How about social media? How have you been using social media recently compared to the past?
I'm going to be honest with you. I connect with realtors on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, but I'm very poor using it to develop. I connect with them and I'll congratulations on a closing or whatever they're doing. But especially LinkedIn, I don't get the concept of that. People say that they get business off of LinkedIn. I don't understand how they do it.
I think the most of whatever platform you're on, and I know a lot of platforms that are those that are watching are on Webtalk, they're on Learn with Legends, they might be on Viral Legends, Unifying Legends. And if you're on the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the Instagram, use a post to get to a conversation that you have via Messenger, then take that Messenger and have a phone call, and then actually now get to a face-to-face. Because people like to post and think they're
Sure.
going to get business from it immediately.
No.
It's not how it works. As you know, right? It just doesn't work that way.
In my business, and the same thing as selling insurance. It's the act of doing something. Because if you sit at your desk all day and do nothing, guess what? You get nothing. So I was telling a new loan officer years ago. I go, you have to do something. It may not work out, but I bet within a week, something will happen. I started in this business in the winter of '98, going on '99. So it's been a long time. I had no contacts in the beginning, so I would go hit realtors. And at the time, you have the what you did, the big papers and the trifolds, and you're hitting everybody. And sure enough, I do that, 3 times a week. At the end of the week, I would get a phone call from somebody. It wasn't the realtor that I saw, but a friend, a relative, a neighbor. Somebody would call me up and say, "Hey, I need a loan," because it's the act of doing something. You have to
Hmm.
do something.
Doing something consistently, trying different things. That's the important thing. And then sharing what you learn when you're doing these, experiences. I like finding out, are you a coffee or a tea or just soda drinker?
No, coffee. I don't do soda. Tea if I'm sick.
That's true.
Coffee.
Tea and lemon probably when you're
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Now with coffee, are you one that goes to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks?
I'm pretty much a Dunkin' Donuts guy.
So those that are watching, like those that are ideas that you kind of come up with. Now you go and have a meeting with someone, and you hear that they like Dunkin' Donuts. You send them a gift card, $5
Sure.
gift card. What does that hurt? You're actually giving someone a gift before you're asking for any business.
Of course, no, or I try to, and it's tough in my business, obviously. But if I try to get leads or buyers for a few of the coach realtors I do business with, because they're in the same boat. They're always looking for business. So if somebody comes across that I pre-approved, but they weren't ready, then they call me up. Okay, I'm ready now. Then I'll call one of the realtors that I do business with and say, here's a buyer for you.
It's important that people understand, those that
Yeah,
are watching.
you as a loan officer, I just can't sit back and expect people to give me work and not reciprocate.
Right. When you're giving, you have to have that giver's mindset. And a lot of people that are watching, you have to have that no matter what business you're in. Because an
Yeah,
entrepreneur, you wake up every day, you don't have a paycheck guaranteed. You have to put yourself out there consistently in positions to allow and accept these opportunities that are coming your way.
sure. Quick story. My daughter came to me and she needed a loan. I said, well, let's go to the credit union. Credit union, you need 4 consecutive paychecks. Well, of course, of the holiday, I missed a week. So I said, you got to wait a couple of weeks to get four consecutive checks. She goes, well, you don't get paid every Friday? I go, no, I don't get paid every Friday. I try to space it out, but no, I don't. She goes, so you're strict on commission? You don't get salary? I go, no, no salary. No salary unless I'm out there working hard. She goes, oh, I couldn't do that. And I know a lot of my friends could never work on commission. They need that the security of a paycheck every Friday.
Yeah. It's something that's not for everybody because you have a lot of rejection. You have things that happen in your life. And I want to make a quick comment. I know the Legends Project, Scott Gerard, he made a comment that he gave out a coffee gift card to every car he washed back in the day.
Sure.
Something small will
Yeah.
add up for, those recommendations. Hey, this person did an awesome job. Come
Sure.
back and use them for their service.
They remember you. They remember you. That's why CRMs are very good for previous borrowers you've had, because every 30, every 60, however, 7, it's a reminder. Years ago I'd get on the phone every 6 months and say, hey, Mr. Smith, remember me? I did your loan. But now in today's age, you just don't have that time to do it. That's why CRMs are very important, because it's a reminder.
Yeah, you got to have that reminder. You have to have some motivation. I would love to hear, since you're an entrepreneur and you have to wake up and do certain things, what is your daily disciplines? How does your day look? Are you just like a reaction type of loan officer, business owner? Are you one that's more proactive? You have
No,
certain things scheduled.
I try to plan out my day. But as you know, sometimes you get phone calls. I plan out my day. I come in, check my emails, and then I have a list of loans I'm working on. And I, try to stick to that. And then, the emails always pop up. But sometimes you get phone calls that something's more urgent and you have to do it now. The underwriter may need a document immediately. And you have to put your plan aside and say, hey, I got to get this done now.
So it's always something. Is there anything that you utilize for technology to help your day be more smooth? Like I use Calendly for scheduling. I don't want to make phone calls, or I want to make phone calls on my time. I don't want to be reacting. Is there anything that you're
No,
using right now for?
I hate to say I'm still old school. I just have my day planner.
That works.
And I
That
write
works.
everything. I write everything down. This time for phone calls, this time for emails, this time working on loans.
I like writing things down. I like the phone. I like the calendar,
Yeah,
but I have a planner as well that I like to write things down. It gives me purpose. It gives me
of
look at
course.
I'm crossing things off my
It's
list, right?
self of accomplishment.
So it keeps you moving, keeps you motivated. You see it on a consistent basis, and that's
Yeah,
old school, but it works, right?
it does. Yeah, I mean, when I started this business, very little email. It was all fax, phone, no cell phones. It It was all, if you weren't in that office making phone calls, there's no way somebody was going to get a hold of you.
Now, phone calls, back in the day, you would pick up a phone and you would call somebody.
Right.
Now you can actually see people.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Are you using that technology today?
I don't know where these people are sometimes. So, I'll say, hey, I like doing email and texting because I can do multiple people at the same time.
Right. Yes.
I don't do a lot of chatting, video chat, because I don't know where they are if they want to. You don't know. I mean,
Right.
occasionally I'll do it, but
It's definitely a powerful thing.
Sure, it is.
Powerful thing because you're actually there with them wherever they
Sure,
are.
it's like sitting next to them, like we are. Yeah, we're talking through a chat, but it's like we're together.
Right. We're like in the same room.
Yeah,
We're able to communicate. You're able to have other people watching us, and it's able to educate and give value to others. We're not
definitely.
sitting here just pitching product and service,
No,
which people, that's all they do. That's the problem. And it gets people turn that off, right?
I don't have much to pay. I mean, every loan is different, so this is what I do. If you have a particular loan, then I'll go into detail with you. But otherwise, you know what I do.
Right.
It's not much not much of a pitch.
Now, are you one that is into cooking or grilling?
Both.
What now with grilling? What's something that you can help us with? Teach us, give us some value, how to cook a good steak, a burger, whatever you're into.
Well, I think I've mastered London broil. London broil used to overcook all the time. Now I've mastered it
I
to
do that.
it's no more than 10 minutes on each side. And if you cut into it, it's a little bloody, then okay, then fine. You put it back on again. As far as chicken, a friend taught me a good trick. If you're cooking, thighs, legs, breasts, like that, grilling it, boil it first, just for a few minutes to get the fat out. Because then, otherwise, when you put it on the grill, it don't flame up, and the skin gets nice and crispy. You can marinate it. And he says you put a little marinade in the water as you're boiling out the fat, and then you don't to a full boil because you don't want it really cooking. You just want to get the fat out of the skin, and then you put it on the grill, and it's really nice.
That's interesting. I've heard chicken could be a tough thing to grill.
Sure.
Because it's something that if you don't have it cooked properly, people are gonna get sick.
Sure. And
So
then if you overcook it, you burn the skin, and you got a fire going.
I've noticed, I never heard of the boiling. That's a good trick. I've heard that you bake it as well beforehand, throw it in the oven.
Bake it and then throw it on the grill. It's all getting the fat out of the skin. That's the entire trick.
I like that, man. That's definitely good strategy right there.
You probably put it on the stove for maybe half an hour at most. You just wanted to get the fat out.
What about music? What kind of music are you into?
I like all music except for rap and hip hop mostly. I'm still a rock and roll heavy metal guy.
Like a Metallica, Bon Jovi kind of stuff?
Nah, Bon Jovi. No, my girlfriend likes him. I said, yeah. I don't know many men that really will admit that he like Bon Jovi.
Right.
No offense, Shawn, if you like Bon Jovi.
No, I like we're Jersey guys, so you never know what people are into.
No, heavy metal, like you said, Metallica, all those heavy metal bands. My best band is Zeppelin.
Okay.
Love Zeppelin. Right. I was too young to see them when they disbanded, but yeah, that is my favorite band.
What about country music?
I sort of started liking it a little because my girlfriend likes it. Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them. Of course, I love Carrie Underwood.
Yep. Which is every Sunday, right? Is it Carrie Underwood? Always Sunday, yeah.
Country music depends on the artist and all that, but yeah, a little more than I ever have.
I found going to those type of concerts, the tailgating is a phenomenal time, and we have people around the world here. Are you into tailgating? If drop a comment. I know people are in China and Puerto Rico, Australia. Let's talk about tailgating in the U.S.
I have a quick,
What happens? What kind of experiences have you had before?
I have a quick story about tailgating. I love to tailgate, and a lot of my friends tailgate. That we actually tailgated Disney on Ice in, when did we go? My daughter was really young. It was cold. I think it had to be January, February. We were, my ex-wife goes, "You guys are going to tailgate?" I go, "Yeah, we're going to tailgate." So yeah, I love to tailgate. We used to, when my daughter took dance during the intermission, we used to run out and have 2 beers and run back in again. So yeah.
For those that are watching, tailgating, you're out there before a concert, before a sporting event. You have time that you're grilling, you have sandwiches, you have your drinks, you're just having a good time beforehand. Some
Well,
people have a lot of good time beforehand, right?
tailgating at a football game is an event.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People bring their own, they hook up TVs to their trucks, and they're able to watch things before they don't even have to go in.
No, a lot of people don't. And we tailgate good at the Meadowlands, but some places like in the Midwest, Green Bay, Kansas City, I think they blow us out of the water the way they tailgate.
And they're dealing with the elements too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just out there, and there's people that you could do the same thing at home, but they're sitting in a parking lot having a great time. I guess I've done it many times in the cold, the rain, the snow. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I remember back in the day, I would wear a hoodie,
right,
and we would put beers in the hoodie. And then that was before all these, you had to go through the metal detectors, and you'd have to get frisked. So you put your arms up. I'm a tall guy. They would never get to and feel the beers there. And we would have 10, 12 beers in our hood. Come in. Here we go. You don't have to pay all that money, right?
I'm not tall enough to do that.
Those are the days, man. Those are the days to have some fun. And it's something that, it goes back to building relationships.
Sure.
You have fun. If you're with family, you could be with friends. You're spending good time. You're having a good event. You're having a good food or drinks, and you're enjoying yourself. It's not all about work. A lot of people that are watching, their life is work. They have to have some fun time too. And
of course. This past year, we've seen Elton John. We were going to see Elton John before COVID. We finally got to see him in Long Island in March, and then we've gone in June or July, and we saw Paul McCartney. We're supposed to go see Billy Joel in December, but he has had a throat virus, so they postponed that till June, of this coming year. So yeah,
I definitely think the live events my wife really enjoys. She can see a band, like probably not hundreds, but 10, 15 times. And I'm like, why would you go there 15 times to watch the same damn thing?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's the music. It's the way they're playing instruments. That's powerful. And she enjoys that.
Yeah. The only band I've seen twice is U2. Like we saw Elton John, and then my daughter goes, "You want to go again?" I go, I don't want to pay $300 a ticket.
It adds up, man.
I go. I said no. So then, when his final concert in California, we watched that on TV. So, but he sounded really good for a guy his age. He sounded really good.
That's the one thing. You grow up, you get older, but your voice usually doesn't change.
Yeah,
and it's just, if you're a good singer, you could sing forever, and you sound like you were.
I tell people he sounded like 1975 when he was out there. So he sounded really good.
No, that's a powerful thing. Music is great. It gets people, pumped up. It gets them fired up. I want to end on the power of video. You did some video in the past,
right,
with other people to collaborate with, to give value. What was important for you to do that at that time, and are you going to get more involved in recent time now?
Well, that was a realtor I connected. Actually, I think she connected with me. We celebrated a 2-year anniversary last week, and we met. She said she wanted to do podcasts, she wanted to do videos, and I said yeah, and I never had. It was to just get out of my comfort zone. I didn't care if they were horrible, if nobody saw them, but just the fact that I was talking to somebody, and we were having a one-on-one conversation like we are now, but she was asking me questions. How do you structure this loan? How do you do that loan? So it was a little difficult. It wasn't like in a more social event. At the events when you're having a drink or something.
Hmm.
You have to make sure your words are correct and everything and your terminology. So it was purely to get out of my comfort zone.
And are you
But
going to do more in
yeah, I'd
recent?
like to do more with her. We'll see. But yeah, but like I said, I didn't care if anybody saw them. It was just the fact that I was getting out of my comfort zone.
Just doing something different can change you. And it's
Sure.
something that it's a powerful thing. I have had 40, you're number 47 as far as guests just for this
Right.
podcast. I've done hundreds of these type of collaborations, and I enjoy listening to whoever I'm with and learning. And
Right.
that's what it is. It's not here helping or I'm just pitching something or product or service.
Nah,
You're learning every single time. It helps you on
of
your
course.
presentation skills when you continue with whatever business you're involved in. You can help others, and that's the goal, is helping
It is. It's
others.
all, it's all about helping others. I tell realtors, I go, look, I like to get your business. But if you're tied in with somebody else or your manager's forcing you to use that loan officer, fine. And if you can't get a hold of that person, you have a question, call me. I'll answer your question. I won't get mad that you've never used me. Just call me, you know?
Just
Because the goal is that the person gets in that house. And if that person needs a question and I can answer the question and help them to get into that house, you never know what comes of it. Because if you don't answer the question, you say, no, I'm not answering because you haven't used me. Guess what? You know what you get? Nothing. You get nothing.
that is, you get nothing.
So you extend yourself and you hope by helping somebody else out, it works.
I'm hoping those that are watching, if you're just popping in now, you're going to have to wait until this uploads and then watch it from the beginning. If you have been with us for the entire time, we appreciate you. Definitely connect with Chris on Webtalk, but also go in the description. If those that watch YouTube channels forget this, there's a description. Click on it. Find out and look at Chris's contact information. If you have questions about anything we talked about, if you have questions about mortgages, just have a conversation with him. His contact information is there. You can connect him with WebTalk and other platforms. You can also check out some things that I'm offering. Please, check the description out. And if you're interested in being a guest, reach out to me. I would love to have you. And Chris, any final thoughts you want to share with everyone?
No, this is very enjoyable. I really like this. This is good.
No, you did fantastic. Appreciate everyone that's been tuning in with us and engaging with us. And Chris, thanks so much. And everyone else, have yourself an awesome rest of your day.
You too, Shawn. Thank you very much.